if he starts writing you back, no matter what, no matter how it gets your dander up, you don't respond, okay? Nothing. He gets no response from you. And I'm telling you that as a friend. I'm telling you that to make this negotiation go well. I'm saying this guy is incorrigible, and basically anything you say can be used against you. Subscribe.
Good afternoon, Danny.
Major.
Good afternoon. How you been?
Never felt better, never had more. You know that.
Here's to feeling good all the time.
All right, so the high points are this particular store. You've got some kind of beef with the landlord?
Well, yes.
Perceived beef.
We bumped heads. We bumped heads a few times on some major issues dealing with the property. The first head button that we had is when we found out, his true feelings that he was taken advantage of.
He was taken advantage of because your lease is so good. How does that make any sense?
None at all. No, we explained that as like, well, you didn't give us what we wanted. We basically took what you gave us. But he felt that, he got the short end of the stick because we're doing so great. Again, he's the outside looking in.
Wait a minute. All right. So give me some high points here. Did he ever run the laundromat? Did he ever operate it?
He did. He was a landlord. He was a landlord operator. He was a landlord operator.
That's why he's pissed. Right there.
Yes.
Because he never retooled it. He didn't do what he needed to be successful. He didn't go all in. He didn't have your military background, on and on ad nauseum. So now he's outside looking in. I like that point. And he's seeing what you did, and he's pissed.
Yep. Yeah. He put a sign in the window saying for lease, and hired a real estate guy to help him rent the place out.
Yeah. But in the back of his mind, he thought, if I can find somebody to rent this place, they're going to be as screwed as I am. Wrong. He never knew what to do to be successful. Couldn't understand it. Couldn't wrap his mind around it. All right. So when first did this perceived beef raise its head? We did the thing. I talked to the guy. And then at some point you stepped in and said, hi, hello, we're the ones that are going to be giving you your rent check. How did that go? Did you meet him?
Well, yes. When we went to sign the lease, his first thing was when we went to sign the lease, hey, what are you going to do with the space? You want this for 15 years. What are you going to do with it? What? And when we told him he was going to leave it a laundromat, he said, are you serious? Why? Why are you going to do that? He said,
I hear Amber. I hear Amber in the background. Yeah. I'd rather talk to her. Hi, Amber.
You sure? Hold on one second.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But no, yeah, he was like, you're signing a personal guarantee. You sure you want to make this a laundromat? He's like, yeah, we're gonna give it a shot.
See, I bet he doesn't remember that. You do. He doesn't. This good. This is good stuff. I don't always take the time to go into it. Look, this call, this discussion, this renewal of your lease is really important to me. I hope you understand that. It really is.
I know myself. If I'm out on the street and it starts to go down, I don't back off until it's finished.
Are we finished?
And I've done a dozen or so of these where, the client, if you will, the friend, they come back at me after years. And it's important, because now you're not one of those folks. You're not some of those people that are trying to sell your business and get the hell away from it. You want to keep it. You want to proliferate it. You want to move on and keep earning the money because it's a great business. And now you see where, hey, it's been 10 years. You have 5 years left. And in the next 5 years, you have to realize that you're either going to walk away and prepare for that, or you're going to get another lease. So there was never words. This guy never called you names. It didn't come to any of that, did it?
No, it didn't come into any name calling, but there was some disrespect on both ends. I draw a line in the sand. I draw a line in the sand. And, it got ugly at certain times. His biggest blow up though was when he had to give back that deposit in months 61 and 62.
Oh.
We didn't pay rent for 2 months. And, he contacted us and wanted to know, hey, why are you not paying rent?
So remind me, what was the arrangement and how did that come about?
Well, we went after it for a year rent abatement.
Right, you had
we
free
went after
rent,
for a
no
year
rent for a
abatement.
year. That didn't piss him off, or maybe it did.
It probably did. But the thing about it is he came back and said, hey, I'll give you 6 months free rent, 6 months abated rent. And he wanted the deposit. You called him back and got the deposit to come back in months 61, 62.
Kaboom.
So,
all right. So no deposit in reality, even though you came with skin
No.
in the game. In other words, here's a check for you. It was basically 2 months prepaid rent. So you get that back. So he had to actually give it to you, write you a check when it came time.
No, he actually, it was
Oh, just free, it was free rent. Free rent.
Free rent.
Okay,
Yeah, it was just in the lease that it had come back to me as rent paid. Like you
He
said,
forgot
rent
all
paid
about
for
it.
2 months.
He wasn't ready for that.
He wasn't, not at all.
He,
And that's how the war started.
And that's when it started. He had to he fired the real estate guy because he confirmed. He's like, yeah, I remember that. He said you gave it back to him as rent. You're not going to hold on to it for 15 years. I remember the whole conversation.
Read my lease.
And he said, I need to go read my lease. And he said, you're
Oh,
fired. He's like, because
oh,
you let them screw me over. So he's like, you're fired. You let them screw me over. I was like, okay, here we go.
Danny is
And that's when
so
the fun started.
good that he's
Hey,
now
his
remember,
wife's
name is Sally. Did Amber and Sally ever get into a fist fight?
No,
All right.
no,
Okay.
no,
Just making sure.
no. Remember, now this is the lease where you made one phone call. We sent an LOI. They came back with a revised LOI, said, this is what we'll do. And you immediately said, let's get them on the phone and take this. You have a laundromat. Congratulations.
I don't remember, but sure.
Yeah, it was two phone calls.
Wow.
And it was a done deal. And so, 5 years later is when all of our problems started with him. For us not wanting to fix stuff. It was like pulling teeth. And then every time, COVID was the biggest one. Why are we still open? The state said we had to shut down. So we had to remind him that we was on the governor's list, that we can remain open. And he goes, see, you're still getting over. You're still getting over. You're making money and no one else in the plaza is open and you're the only ones making money. You got over on me on the rent. It was like,
you have
around the parking lot and you're packed.
All right, you're telling, now listen, this isn't Jerry Springer, but you're telling me all the one-sided, when did you say some shit you shouldn't have? What did you say back?
Well, we had a water fiasco that blew up, water bill fiasco that blew up. And then there was one time when he kind of disrespected Amber. We was trying to fix an issue that he wasn't fixing. And he kind of disrespected her. And I got in his face and went off.
Letting my emotions out was the best thing I've ever done.
It's good. You know what? Don't say shit about my wife. That's I mean, I don't even understand. I don't need to hear the detail, but what the hell? Yeah. And like I say, when somebody steps to you, you step back. You can't allow that. A lot of these landlords, dude, big or small, they want to be the lord of the land. They want to be treated that way. They love the tenant across the street that bows to them every time they come and doesn't make eye contact. That's not what this is. You're the one.
And that's mainly why you bump heads.
Yeah.
Because of the condescending, it's like, hey, don't talk down to me. Something's wrong with you.
Just wear your uniform. Wear your uniform at all.
Yeah.
You probably don't fit into that shit anymore. I know I don't.
No, not at all.
You get it let out. Oh my God. All right. So does he even remember me? Probably not.
No, because you basically talked to his broker, agent, or whatever it was he was dealing with at the time.
Does he have a new guy?
No, it's just him, but he wanted to deal with lawyers because he felt, hey, I'm thinking you're right. What happened was we changed our name, our business name. Mm-hmm. And once we changed that, he got an assignment letter. All the landlords got an assignment letter. They all signed it within 24 hours and sent it back saying, congratulations. He was the only one. He looked at this one-page letter as us trying to get over. And I had to pay a lawyer to get involved to to get him to sign this, he still hasn't signed it. He refuses to sign it because he thinks that we're trying to get over on him in this one-page document that says business A is now responsible for business B,
Yeah.
and Orandi and Amber is still
That's common.
guaranteed to pay rent.
That's all
Yeah.
common stuff. That's nothing. You know, that's meaningless. And him refusing to sign it, it just shows that he's bullheaded. It doesn't show that he has any business sense. It doesn't make any sense
Well,
because you're legal.
no.
You're still legal. The notification is all you need to do. And then what? So you're now signing your rent checks with a different name, right? Different business name.
Yeah. Of
Did he-
course.
did
And
he-
2 years later, 2 years later, he tries to pull the plug from underneath us. He contacts us and say, I don't know who I've been getting these rent checks from the last 2 years,
Oh,
but I don't have a
please.
lease with this company.
Come on.
We need a whole new lease, or you guys need to move out. So
Yeah,
he
nice
forced me to
try.
pay $1,500 for that. Yeah, and it was
To an
a week
attorney?
of pain. Yeah, I had to get an attorney involved in.
That's kind of
basically
hard to
attorney
sleep at
said
night,
they
isn't
could-
it? When you're falling
Yeah.
asleep thinking about you're going to lose your.
Yeah.
And this is part of why again there are certain aspects of owning the building that are nice, and there are certain aspects of not that aren't. Where if a hurricane comes in, you get your insurance money. You don't need to worry about it. But at the end of
Right.
the day, yeah, it's North Carolina, right? You just had a hurricane, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Did
yeah.
some damage.
Dude, the guy's incorrigible. And to be honest, it would probably be best to deal with his agent if he had one. But it's your feeling that currently you just deal with him and he just says, we'll deal with my attorney.
Right. And attorneys have made no progress. And like I said, I think, our attorney has spoken to him and told him, look, you need to get a lawyer because he faked like he had a lawyer. You made Orandi and Amber get a lawyer. You need to get an
Yeah.
attorney. And the lawyer says, it sounds like he just doesn't want to pay for a lawyer. This is going nowhere. See if you can get a meeting with him and talk with him. He wants to give you a lease, but doesn't want to negotiate.
In my personal and business life, both, when someone says, lawyer, I'm done. You don't say another word to that individual. You don't text them. You don't write them. You do nothing. Because when they say, well, I'm going to lawyer this or that, and that doesn't happen with Free Laundromat. I'm too good of a person. But they say, I'm going to lawyer this and that. Okay, I wish you luck. And you hang up the phone or you walk away if it's in person. And you know what? Those people never reach out because there's no lawyer. They don't have a lawyer and they don't have a leg to stand on. If and when they do, you say, oh, this is great. You hand it to your lawyer. You're out. You're done. It's just like with the police, right? You're guilty of a crime. You're sitting in that little room. They're going to beat you with phone books. You're all worried. And then the cop comes in and you say, I need my lawyer to be present. And they're done. They won't talk to you anymore. That's the way that it works. And I'm not saying you're a criminal, nor are you doing anything wrong in business. We've talked about this a little too much. We know that this guy is incorrigible. Now for the detail. You have 5 years remaining. You can't miss. Now, did you read it? And you probably know the answer to this. Do you have to do anything for the option to ensue?
No,
Okay.
you had that fixed in the
Good.
beginning.
Yeah,
that it's
you
automatic.
You don't
unless you
want to
say
go
no.
have to go in at a certain day within between 7:15 a.m. and 7:30. It's like Caddyshack, right? It's caddy day at the pool. Pool is open to caddies from 12 to 12:15. That's duty anyway. There's a duty in the pool. Great movie. You don't want a position where you only have a brief window to notify them, and it's a notification. It's the same thing. So that's off the table. You don't have to do anything, and your 5-year option comes up. Now, here's the big question. Why do you even want to continue with this leased space?
Oh, I don't want to lose the business. The business is great.
You're making a ton of
You know, I
money.
don't-
There's the answer.
Yeah. I don't wanna
right.
You don't want to lose out on that.
No. How high are you willing to go? Have you figured out what your dead end, what your stop point is?
I did not. That I did not do.
Do that for me. Figure out what your walk away point is, how ridiculous it might be. Now, has he presented you with lease moving forward? Has he given you options to move forward with a new lease?
He did. What he did was, like I mentioned to you in the past, I tried to get 3 meetings with the guy to sit down
Mhm.
because he was positive. Hey, I want you guys to stay. I want you to continue. Y'all pay on time. Y'all great tenants. The tongue-in-cheek stuff. So he never set a date. And then what he did was he dropped a lease to one of our team members and then left the country. Couldn't get in touch with the guy, but it was like $1,000 increase for both units, starting in a week. So I was like, this isn't happening. And then we get notification from a representative of his saying he doesn't want to sit and negotiate with us. He'd rather do it with lawyers. But then he doesn't talk to the lawyers until recently. And that's when we found out that he no longer wants to give us a
You know what I'm
15
going to
year. He only
say?
wants to go 5 year at a time.
I'm only saying this for myself. When I call him, and I'm going to do that in a minute, when I call him up, whether he answers or not, I'm going to reintroduce, I'm going to say that I represent you. And I do, right? Your
Okay.
cousin
Yeah.
could make a phone call and represent you. I'm not going to say that I'm some kind of attorney, nor am I going to be implying that, but I'm going to say that I represent you. What's the name of the new entity? All right.
Laundry.
I muted that, so all right, let's keep all the particulars out of it. I've got it. That's the new name, right?
That is the new name.
What was the old name? Okay. So I'm going to say it that way. And you might get the impression that I'm taking this pretty damn seriously. I normally just say, it's all academic, let's call them, because it doesn't really matter. What they end up saying is what matters. But this conversation is important because you guys have vested interest. You've made hundreds of thousands of dollars. You've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is part of your umbrella of laundry ownership. And we're going to get to some of the other questions that I have. But, this is not just, gee whiz, give me the lease, yes or no, have a nice day. So I represent you. So that's the way that I'm going to say it, because I do. Nobody does good with scripts. But I never talked to him. I thought I did talk to him. Did I speak to him?
No, like I said,
Never.
the process was quick. Yeah,
All
it was very fast. Yeah.
Okay. But now any mouthpiece that he has, a realtor or even an attorney, is going to be easier to deal with, because they're the ones that are, there's sides to this, or perceived sides. Oh, well, I'm your attorney, I'm on your side. Okay. But many times the attorney is going to say to him, bro, you're being stupid. If I call him stupid, he's going to get mad. If his attorney says you're being stupid, he's going to go, yeah, maybe. More things.
Right.
We don't have an offer from him, right?
No, well, like I said, the only offer that we had was the
Get out.
the $1,000 rent increase, and someone advising him that basically treat us like retail and go every 5 years so that you can raise the rent.
Yeah, no. And so here's the difference. You're not retail. You're a laundromat. And I'm going to press the nerve, if I get to talk to him, I'm going to press the nerve. Hey, you ran the place. We're aware. How long did he run it?
That I'm not aware of, because he got it from a friend of his, basically giving him money to get out of a personal situation. But he didn't really run it, and he even told us he basically took it over and just let happen what happened, and put the money with his restaurant money. So he couldn't give you a P&L, or he couldn't give you no financials to that place.
No. Sure. That's common. But here's what I mean about pressing a nerve. You ran it. You operated it. You didn't see the full potential, and they have, and they want to continue that. So the reality is, you did have an exquisite lease for 15 years, and you still have 5 years remaining. At the end of the 5 years, you might have is that written down? At the end of the next 5 years, what would your lease rate be monthly?
It's 2 separate units, and he has it as 2 separate leases. So you're looking at $2,580 on one side, and I think he almost $1,200 on the other side.
That is where your lease rate would end. You top out at about $3,780.
Right. And where he was going was almost $3,000 per side. They're not the same square footage, but he was asking almost $3,000 per side with a new security deposit and all that good stuff.
What does that come out to? I mean, you're topping out. What's the square footage? How big is this place?
Combined is 3,000 square feet.
Okay. So you're at that 37.8, does that include triple nets or is this a gross lease?
No, that's including the triple net.
Damn.
I'm at 1950. I'm at 1950 instead of 2581.
Okay.
Then you add the triple nets in there, it comes to 2581.
All right.
Oh, that's another thing he's also upset about. He only gave us triple net for one side, and on the other side, he put in the lease that the landlord will pay.
Listen, if you keep talking, I'm going to end up on his side.
Oh.
Jesus. I think he's right. I think he probably learned something in the last 10 years, and he's like, these people f***ed me. Jesus. You know, at some point, you got to cut your losses and give the guy what he wants. I mean, oh, man.
Well, I even told Amber, I said, we could use the triple net for the other side as negotiation because he's the one that came to us and was like, oh, don't worry about paying it for the other side. And it was like, oh, okay, what do we sign?
Dude, all of this goes back to him thinking that you would fall flat on your face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all.
Exactly.
He ran the laundry. He thought it was a horrible business, which for many, many people it is. And he figured you two dumbasses couldn't do any better. Well, you got somebody that taught you all the little things and big things. And really, it's an equipment-based business. So what is my argument with him? You want to retool the store and do this again. And you're not going to, you're in, and this is an argument, it's not necessarily the reality, but right now, and this is all academic, it's not him listening. I highly doubt he's on YouTube. Right now, you're into the pudding. Right now, you're in a position where the equipment's getting a little older. It's time to make the decision. And the only thing we have to threaten this guy with is, if we walk, you're not going to end up even with the old equipment. We're going to take every bit of F&E out. Every washer and dryer will be removed. Every television from the wall, everything that we own will be gone. You will no longer have a viable laundromat. You'll be in a worse position than you were when you first leased this to us. And that's not a threat. It's a fact. It's all we got, right? Because I think he thinks that if you walk, you're going to leave everything there.
Mm-hmm.
And we also thinks that if we leave, you think you can charge whatever you want to charge to the next person, and that's not going to happen. Not anybody that has common sense.
Who are they running against?
Common sense and a guy in a wheelchair.
They're going to ask for the same things we asked for.
That's the zig and the zag. If he thinks he's going to charge the next person $6,000 for a 3,000 square foot space, no, because there's a reset. This is another important thing and something that I don't really get into that often, and I hope folks understand why I'm doing this. It's because this is important. What's his portfolio look like? Do you know? Does he have? Is this a strip mall?
Yeah, it is a strip mall. He owns quite a few. Each individual unit is owned by someone different in the strip mall, but he does own quite a few commercial spaces.
Okay, so this particular strip mall is split where he's got 2 suites, which is the laundry. Does he have any other suites in there?
Yeah, he has 3 other suites. One was his restaurant that he just sold. He just sold the restaurant, not the space. And he has another unit that he rents out.
Do you know what they are paying?
I do not.
And you shouldn't. It's very difficult to find out. Now, again, you could there's a lot of dipshits that'll tell you to do all this research and try to figure everything out. But what does it matter? If you knew exactly what the market rate of rent was in that area, why would it matter? It wouldn't matter. Because this is all about what he's willing to accept. And that's the sweet spot we need to find. I don't think he's going to talk to me. All right. I'm going to do my best to have and you've seen me do this. I did this the other day that I remember because I YouTubed it, where the landlord hung up on the client He said 2 words. He said laundromat. He said, no, I have a tenant there. And he hung up. I talked to the guy for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a lot. When you're able to make your points, hit the high notes, and then get that guy to admit a few things. So be very nice to him, Mr. Howe, right? And I never spoke to him, so it's not a reintroduction. We might just end up leaving him a message, but if that's the case, I'm going to talk to him about who I represent and leave my number. Now, if he does answer, I must admit, this is an important call for all of us. And we don't have an offer, right? What we should be doing is going from your 3780, where you top out at the end of your 5-year option in 5 years from today, or whatever the month is, right? Adding 3% annually. That's what we're asking for, right?
1 second. I think if I believe I did type something up like that. Hold up.
Well, knowing you, you did.
I'll put it in here. Hold on 1 second.
But it's not important. Our ask is not important. We're asking for something reasonable, not him doubling the rate of rent. He's retiring. He no longer wants his restaurant. Now he just wants to sit back and collect a check. So we're going to give him the ability to do that. Does he have an attorney at this point or no?
He does.
Okay.
But he has one that doesn't seem like he's been conversating with him in reference to this and the reason it's been taking so long. And the lawyer thinks that it's because he doesn't want to pay an attorney.
Yeah, well, it's commonplace. When you get what you pay for, and if you hire an attorney out of the back of a matchbook and you give them a few dollars, they're not going to want to do work. Now, I don't mind calling the attorney. I don't want your attorney to call the attorney. I have 5 attorneys in my life, right? Real estate, I mean, none of them are criminal attorneys, knock on wood. But my favorite is really my contract attorney, because he's a negotiator. That's what he says. That's what he calls himself. I think everybody should be. You know, your business card, if you're a social media influencer, it's a social butterfly, chief communicator, and negotiator. You know, everything's a negotiation. So we've blown this shit out of proportion as it is. You're in the document. If anything goes completely sideways, as you know, you can type in. I don't think I missed anything. If I did miss anything, you just type in there and go, holy, say this or that, or he called Amber a name, whatever. Let's call this guy up.
This is what I was proposing, going off of your original lease.
Okay.
This is what I was looking at.
So
doing
your
the exact same
current
increases.
lease ends in November, which is next month, and you just want to basically pick up and do 3% increases, which is fine. But he feels like he was raked over the coals, robbed and murdered. And how willing are you to pull all the equipment and just walk in 5 years?
Very willing.
Okay.
Very willing.
That's important to know. And I didn't even have to ask. I'm not the one making these decisions. And at the end of the day, like I said, working with me includes calling other stores. That's where it's unique and different. This is, I don't charge people a fee and say, well, gee whiz, I'm going to make one telephone call and see what happens. That wouldn't be right. And I mean that. You know that. I'm ready to call this guy.
I'll sniff out a deal. I have a 6th sense.
I put it in the notes, kind of what I drew up, basically following the pattern of
you just want to maintain the same lease. And look, in his mind, tell me if I'm wrong, he wants to take your laundromat from you. He's not going to do that. If he takes anything, he's going to take some leaky pipes.
Agree.
That's it. That's all. And if we go 6% increases yearly, then that's not bad either, because you started off at almost nothing. You did rake the guy over the coals, or I did. I don't know.
I like that, how you push and blame.
Just laughing. All right, the dude doesn't have my number. I don't have his number. I have every number I've ever called the last 20 years in my phone, and this one ain't in there. So without further ado, you can mute your phone if your dog is going to bark or there's going to be explosions or sirens. Off we go. Stand by. This is important. You better subscribe.
Hello.
Mr. Howe.
Speaking.
Mr. Howe, my name is Danny. Your tenant.
Attorney?
Your tenant.
No. You are the attorney for Dominic.
No,
right?
sir. No. I negotiate leases.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we have a 5-year option ahead of us. And obviously that option is going to come about. And we just want to get this lease figured out for the next 10 or even 15 years beyond that.
I think, sir, what is your name again?
Danny. My name is Danny D'Angelo.
Danny.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Danny. I'm sure that you need to talk to my attorney, right? So I don't.
Well, let me ask.
You got to talk to Caleb.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Why are we involving attorneys with a lease negotiation? That's kind of costly.
It's okay. If you have anything to talk talk to Caleb. Okay, I will let him know that you called me, Danny.
You and I can hammer this out and get it done. I'm just confused. No. Are you a criminal? It doesn't. I mean, I'm not sure why you want me to talk to your attorney.
We need to create jobs for everybody.
That's for sure. I just always prefer. I'm not gonna make you stick to anything. I just want to talk about what we wish to do.
No. It's not appropriate.
It's not. Oh my goodness.
What kind of a person are you?
It's not appropriate.
So you own five. You have 5 suites in this particular mall, and you don't negotiate your own leases for any of them?
No, I don't.
You
Talk
don't.
to Caleb's.
Okay. It just sounds like you're fearful. It sounds like you're fearful of something. What's your attorney's name and what is his number?
Dominic should know.
Well, I'm asking you. I don't know that he does know. I'm asking you.
No. Talk to, I don't know.
Okay, let me say this. Oh, my name is Danny D'Angelo, and I represent Dominic. So what will happen in 5 years is we will pull all of the equipment. We'll take the television off of the wall, and you will end up with nothing but leaky pipes. Are you aware of that? That's what you're setting up. You don't want. You think you're going to end up with a laundromat, but the equipment needs to be replaced at this point. You see, the attorneys can't really talk about this because they're unable to put all of this in writing. I can hear you, sir, but you're not listening. You're actually listening to every word.
I'm going to hang up now.
Wow, what are you afraid of? If this 5-year option ends, there will be no laundromat in place. And he hung up. I like him. Let's call him back. You know me.
All right.
Calling him back. This is great.
No breaks. I feel reborn. I'm like a phoenix rising from Arizona.
XM. I see that you are calling in response to a communication you received. So let me route you to the right.
Oh, I pressed the wrong number. I called Sirius XM, who must have called me while I was on the phone with him. All right, here we go. Sorry, I get excited.
Hello, Danny.
What are you afraid of?
Danny.
What are you afraid of?
To Caleb.
I don't have his number. He hung up. Third time's the charm. By the way, I called. He picked up the phone. He's got the prices right in the background on the television. He said, talk to Caleb or whatever the landlord is. I said, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Now, this is me doing what? Do you enjoy this? Should I call him again? You tell me yes or no.
He's not going to answer.
Yeah. Oh, he answered twice. Do you want me to call him yes or no?
He might. Go yes.
All
Let's
right,
go
good.
for it.
We're just poking him at this point. I'm not going to call him again.
Yes, no.
No, the right. Listen.
We don't. Go ahead.
You don't have the attorney's number?
No, we don't have. We don't
All
have
right.
his attorney's
I just told him that.
information.
All right. I'm calling him again. Here we go.
Yeah.
I have a goal, and the goal is just to get the attorney's number. Here we go. I hope you guys are having fun. Oh, you better subscribe. I'm sorry.
Your call has been forwarded
there we
to
go. There we go.
voice messaging system.
There we go.
9.
Don't call me anymore.
Yeah, straight to voicemail.
He's calling me now.
Good. Let's oh God, pick it up and then put me on. For the love of God, make sure you merge the calls. But just be cool, dude. Be cool.
Yeah, he called on Amber's phone.
My phone.
He just hung up. Want us to call him back?
I'm calling her.
Well, no. So here's the point. Here's what we need to discuss. You have an unreasonable man who wants to deal with attorneys. So why is he calling you, right? That's the question.
Yeah,
Why is he calling you?
not
He
sure.
wants-
Because all he's going to get is that. Because all he's
No,
going to get
but,
from me is
but
that.
I don't look. You hired a mouthpiece, which is me. I am not an attorney. I don't play one on TV. I was clear with that. You didn't hear the whole conversation, but I called and I said, "My name's Danny. I represent XYZ, currently XYZ, your new name, and the Dominiques." And he said, "Are you an attorney?" It's the first thing he said, first thing out of his mouth. I said no, and I started to talk. Now, why does he not want a deal? Because he's not a good negotiator. I've seen this happen before, but this guy is just all sour grapes. So I said what I had to say to him, and the two of you should not speak with him again. Don't answer your phone if it's a missed call. Don't answer your phone if it's a wrong number. Don't, a blocked line, whatever. Don't talk to this guy. Absolutely not. Amber, text him and say, "Can we have your attorney's name and number?" Since you don't have it. That's all. And we're basically done for today. But Amber, if he starts writing you back, no matter what, no matter how it gets your dander up, you don't respond, okay? Nothing. He gets no response from you. And I'm telling you that as a friend. I'm telling you that to make this negotiation go well. I'm saying this guy is incorrigible, and basically anything you say can be used against you. You're not negotiating, I am. He wants to go through attorneys, we will. And I'll call the attorney. I'll just tell him that I represent you as your lease negotiator, which I do. We have a contract, right? And it's legal. So, great. He doesn't have the right to say, "I only want to talk to attorneys," by the way. Either of you could call his attorney and try to negotiate a lease. I can call his attorney and try to negotiate a lease. I can almost guarantee that his attorney is not good at lease negotiating or probably knows nothing about it. Does the attorney get paid more if we get a better deal? No, of course not. Is he looking for bragging rights? Of course not. So she needs to text him and just ask for his attorney's name and number, and that's it. You don't have it at all?
No, not at all. Because it was our attorney who contacted him and told him, "Listen, you need to stop faking like you have an attorney. You need to get an attorney ASAP if you want us to have one to deal with negotiations." And he sent that information to them.
I didn't call him names. I didn't put him down. I just told him a fact, which was, and you probably heard that, if this lease ends when the option is up, he will end up with leaky pipes.
Holy cow!
That's not a threat. It's a fact, right?
No, it is. You're
Okay.
absolutely right. Because like I said, we either we're planning for the next 5 years to move out, or we're planning to continue for the next 15, 20 years.
Okay. Amber, I love you. I miss you. Send the guy the text. And
Same here. I did. I sent it already. It says he read it, so he has seen it.
so how long does it take him? He fast fingered you pretty damn quick. How long does it take him?
Oh yeah, he's usually quick. I mean,
Yeah.
he's usually quick with responding back to me.
So, and you know what else?
He's always said he'd rather deal with me.
Yes, I was just going to say that. He'd rather talk to the wife. You're very soft. You've got a nice voice. You've got all the round edges. And then we got the major over here, and he's very sharp.
Yeah.
And I don't think that offends you. And that's the way these guys are, man. He didn't call Aronde. He called you. What a...
Oh yeah, he told me that he said, "I would rather deal with you because your husband, he's so aggressive on the phone. He's really aggressive." And I really, so I'm like.
And this is normal tone talking. Now, I'm not yelling at him or anything. Just talking direct with him.
Why are you so aggressive? He always says that. Why are you so aggressive?
Because I'm a Marine. And by the way, this is my business. He doesn't have any vested interest in this. He doesn't have a crystal ball. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong about everything. Everything I've ever done and everything I'm about to do. I could be wrong. Forget about the successes and the wins. But I think that this guy wants this business back. He never knew how to run it. He had the opportunity to run it. He gave it to you. And now I think the nerve we press is this lease ends and you will not have a laundromat.
Open the door, you get a better look. Oh, see me.
It had equipment when you took over, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
He's going to have even less than that. And that is what we make abundantly clear.
I told Ronnie that. I said, he wants to take this back. I said, he's going to take it back, try to put stuff in there and let one of his family members run it.
I want you to check your lease and see if it has any stipulation for F&E versus infrastructure. And I also want you to check with your attorney what he thinks. It's gonna cost you a few bucks.
Well, we've discussed this. Here's the feeling. You got a greeting. It starts with an H. How's $20 sound?
I'll take it.
All right, sir.
But ask the attorney if you can if you can cut the copper to the floor. And I don't want that. I really don't. I don't want that. But this guy that might need to be what happens, because we can let him know through the attorneys in writing. I didn't even think he'd answer the phone, so I'm excited. You guys want to hang out? He replied. What did he write? Well, let me guess.
Yeah.
He didn't give you a number, did he?
Nope. He says your attorney should have the phone number. I'm not in town.
That's
I don't have my attorney's phone
That's a
number.
lie.
I don't have
That's
my
a lie.
attorney's phone number at hand.
That's a lie.
Really?
You don't have your attorney's
Don't
number?
write him back.
I'm not.
I told you what to. So you see what I mean? Now do you believe that for an instant?
No,
No.
not at all.
It's
I think
actually
he's
kind
calling him
of,
probably right now.
it's actually kind of, he's calling you.
No, I think he's calling his attorney now saying that he was contacted.
I don't think he has
by,
an attorney, period.
See, this the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
The
It's-
other attorney said,
now-
our attorney said.
Isn't it freeing? You guys know, when you have an attorney, it's a freeing feeling. You give them a retainer, and then you know that they're there. If you're yelling over the hood of your car at your wife at 3 a.m. while the feds drag you away, call Saul, right? It's a good feeling. It's kind of like, yeah, I'll be out in 24 hours if you're a criminal. If you're doing land deals like I'm doing currently, it's a good feeling, because I'll call the guy that I want to buy the 150 acres from, and I'll get all worked up, and I'll try to talk him into selling it to me. My contract attorney will call and say, come on, Danny doesn't even want it. He doesn't give a shit. But what you should do is pass it off so that you don't have the tax burden this year. That's a good feeling. You have a good feeling when I work on your behalf. It's a good feeling. You're sitting back there, all excited. Your heart's pounding through your chest. You maybe don't like the guy. Maybe the guy's had words with you before, but you know that I'm a pit bull, and even though he says call my attorney, I'm going to keep talking. I'm not going to. What's your attorney's number? Oh, Rhonda has it. No, he doesn't. So that's why I asked. You don't have the number. I'm going to keep talking, and trust me. Even though he was talking over me, I could hear every word he was saying, and he heard every word that I was saying. You're going to end up with less than nothing, less than you had before. And we can put that in writing through the attorneys. But I'll tell you right now, if he had one, he would have texted back the information to Amber. Here's my attorney's name and number. Doesn't have one, which is funny. It's really weird.
Oh, you're insane.
Oh, yes, quite.
He doesn't have to do anything, by the way, guys. He doesn't have to do shit.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't have to talk to you. He makes. By the way, you probably know this, pay your rent on time, a week early, and I would start sending the check certified mail.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing.
Oh, yeah, we had an issue with him doing that too. He held on to 5 months of our checks.
He can do whatever he wants.
And then tried to say that we didn't pay our rent for 5 months.
Yeah, he's playing a game. Ask your attorney about that as well. Don't take my word for any of it, but you have to show proof that you're sending those checks, because all he has to do is not cash them, but start sending them every month, a week early, and make sure you send them registered mail.
Yeah, they've been coming directly from the bank. But yeah, we'll add that.
Yep.
That's certified.
Because now, we
didn't do it the last time.
But would it concern me if he said, here's my attorney's number? No. I'm out of town? The f does that mean? If you're in Paraguay, it's 2 a.m. right now, and you answered the phone. So unless you're snorkeling, or like my dad used to say, up on a ladder, who gives a shit? Didn't he find your number, Amber? Or does he know it by heart?
He has me saved in his phone, because anytime
I'm
he calls,
being
like,
facetious.
Hey, Amber,
Of course he does.
Yeah.
He hung up from me. He looked up Amber, and he called you. So why doesn't he look up his attorney and send you the information? Exactly. So sadly, what you need to do now is you need to text him. Well, you already did. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, we did.
Have your attorney reach out through email and ask for his attorney's number. I don't think he's going to write you back, because I think he wants that place. You don't have to give him a letter of intent, but we will soon. in probably 2 years, so he's got 3 years to think about it, we'll write a letter of intent, and our intention is to cut the copper at the floor and pull everything that made that a laundromat. Did you upgrade the sign?
Yep.
Is it your sign?
Oh yeah,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
everything in there.
Everything in there is ours.
I told Amber the exact
We're gonna
conversation I had with her.
everything.
I said, don't tell me no.
Anything that's
doing
within
it.
reason and within the law. Maybe this guy's watching my YouTube channel and he wants a free laundromat.
Everything I paid for is coming with me.
Well, be careful. Some of those items are not F&E. Some of those items could be considered his. And you might be surprised when you sign that lease, all the pipes, all the gas pipe, the black pipe, all the upgrades, depending on the area, and I don't know that, I'm not an attorney, it could be yours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.